Drop a cat from 5 stories up. It shouldn't survive. The physics say it can't work. No wings, no parachute, no time to think. But the cat lands, on its feet, walks away, and couldn't care less. Scientists watched this happen for decades and couldn't explain it. They filmed it in slow motion. They did the math. The numbers came back wrong. Because according to the rules of physics, what a cat does midair is impossible. And yet, every single time, it works. For a long time, scientists just called it the righting reflex, a fancy name that tells you what happens, but nothing about how. The cat is falling. It has no surface to push against, no ground to kick off, no air thick enough to grab. By every rule of classical physics, it should arrive at the bottom in whatever position it started, spinning, tumbling, completely helpless, but it doesn't. The cat senses it's falling in the first fraction of a second, before it's even had time to be afraid, and then something inside it switches on. Something ancient, something that runs faster than a thought, and what happens next is one of the strangest things in all of biology. Here's what actually happens. A cat's spine is not one rigid column. It's more like 2 separate sections connected in the middle, and each half can rotate independently of the other. The moment the cat starts falling, the front half of its body twists one way, the back half twists the other, at the same time, in opposite directions. And because they cancel each other out, no angular momentum is created. No momentum means no violation of physics. The cat essentially cheats the rules without breaking them. But there's more. Cats have around 30 vertebrae in their spine, compared to 24 in a human. That extra flexibility isn't an accident. It evolved specifically for this. And it gets stranger. Scientists have tested how fast this entire sequence runs from start to finish. In a fall from just 1 meter, the cat completes its full body rotation in under 0.3 seconds. Before you could blink twice, the cat has already solved a physics problem that took humans decades to understand. Now here's the part that breaks your brain. The higher you drop a cat, the safer it lands. Not marginally safer. Provably, measurably, statistically safer. In 1987, 2 veterinarians in New York published a study on cats that fell from buildings. They called it high-rise syndrome. They analyzed hundreds of cases, and they found something that made no sense. Cats falling from 2 to 7 stories showed the most injuries. Cats falling from above 7 stories, injuries actually started decreasing. Some cats fell from over 30 floors and walked away. Here's why. After a cat reaches terminal velocity, something happens. It stops accelerating. Its body senses the change, and instead of tensing up, the cat relaxes. It spreads its legs outward like a tiny parachute. It lowers its center of gravity, and it floats. At lower heights, the cat hasn't had time to activate that response. At high enough heights, it has. So where did this all come from? Cats evolved as tree climbers. They leap, they chase, they misjudge. Falling from trees is something their ancestors did for millions of years. And evolution has no patience for creatures that keep dying the same way. So it built a solution directly into the hardware, not into the thinking brain, not into instinct the way fear is an instinct, into the nervous system itself. The righting reflex runs through the vestibular system, the part of the ear that tracks which way is up. It fires automatically. The cat doesn't decide to do it. It doesn't even know it's doing it. It's already done before the first conscious thought arrives. Here's the strangest part. Kittens are born without it. A newborn cat dropped gently from a low height cannot right itself. The reflex develops over the first 6 weeks of life, and once it activates, it never switches off. Not in old age, not in injury, not in sleep. The moment the cat leaves solid ground, the system fires. And here's where it gets quietly extraordinary. Engineers figured out that a falling cat was essentially running a zero-input self-correction algorithm. No external reference, no ground contact, no prior data, just the body, the spin, and the correction. So they reverse engineered it. Aerospace scientists studied the righting reflex and used it to design self-orienting satellites, spacecraft that need to correct their own position in zero gravity with no external push. Robotics engineers modeled it into falling robots so they could recover midair without programming a specific landing response. The cat didn't just survive its fall, it became the blueprint. And the next time you see a cat knock something off a table and walk away, maybe it's not careless. Maybe it's just very, very aware of exactly how it lands. And if you want to know why cats seem to defy the rules every single time they move, that story gets even stranger.